welcome to another episode of the Lone Recruiter Podcast. I'm your host, Brett Clemens, and today I will stress to you the importance of coaching your candidates on how to frickin' behave in the interview process right up until they get an offer so that they get the offer, okay? Because I cannot stress this enough. Your candidate does not have an offer in their hand unless they have an offer in their hand. I'm going to tell you a little story that's happened to us this week, almost comical, but it has happened so many times that it's just, people do my head in, right? So you get a candidate who is keen to leave their company, they're burnt out, they're not enjoying it, you put them on interviews, long story short, they go through that process, they're umming and ahhing, you know, we know the type, I just don't know if I'm just burnt out or if I'm tired, do I want these things? We know looking at what he's got in his, like what he's looking at is freaking good. Like it's a far cry from what he's doing at the moment. It's a step in the right direction. He may not take it, that's fine. But he's gone into these interviews unsure, okay? And it's rubbed off on the clients and they feel his uncertainty. And they feel that as, I just get that sense that he's not quite into us, okay? He's just not that into you, that movie. And really where it's at is like, we get to the end of the process, the candidate's, he's unsure the whole way, but he's slowly going, I'm getting a little bit excited about this. Actually, I can see myself doing it. Actually resigns from his job without telling us, like that's how much he wasn't happy where he was, which is clearing the decks in his mind to kind of move that way. And this is just his process, right? But at the same time, the client who he's interviewed with, who said, we're going to make you an offer, spoke to him direct, here's the offer, we'll give you a contract tomorrow. It's actually gone the other way for the client. They've felt this negativity, felt this like pushback from his experience, and they're kind of going, maybe we won't send it to him. Maybe he's just a bit of a sad sack. It's not the case at all, but it's how things get perceived. So this client has made an offer verbally. It has been not accepted with joy or excitement or even like received well. It's like, oh, cool, yeah, look, I'll have a look at that. I appreciate it. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. The company's pulled out. They just said, we're not going to send him the contract. We just think maybe he's a bit of a sad sack, whatever. He's not, right? The reality is, right? Think about getting down on a knee and proposing to a person. When you get down on your knee and you open up that box and you go, will you marry me? You're so excited. You're nervous, but you're excited, okay? If that person says yes, great, you kiss, you hug, happy days. If they say, let me think about it, right? Or, I'm not sure. Okay, well, I'll just stay on my knee and, you take your time, let me know what you want to do. It's as good as a no, right? And the longer someone's down on their knee, the longer they got the box open, the more likely that they go, you know what? You don't want me, I don't want you. And this is just human nature. And it's exactly the same with recruitment, right? So if you do not have an offer in your hand, you do not have an offer in your hand. We are now in a situation with this deal where the candidate's basically saying, yeah, I want to take it. I've gone to the client, where's the contract? Oh, we're not sending it to him. Why? You offered it to him like 2 days ago. Yeah, we just didn't feel the enthusiasm. Holy fucking shit. So now we're roping that thing back. This is like, and I feel stupid because this is something I coach all the time, and it's something I've been doing for almost 20 years now, is you need to tell your candidates how to behave. Even when they're not sure about the role or what they're going to do and they feel a little bit down about whatever, if you're going on an interview, act and behave like you want it. Do not make the decision in the room, or do not try and work out in the room, in the interview, whether you want that job or not. Your job at interview is to get an offer. Your job in that room is to impress the hiring manager, is to put yourself in a position to not just get an offer, but to maximize the offer that comes to you. Make them want you. Make them fall over their feet for you. Make them think, fuck, I want this person. Okay, so we as recruiters have to coach our candidates to think like this. Even on those sad days where they're just not sure what they want to do, I'm a bit down. We know those sad sacks, but hey, we're dealing with people at crossroads in their lives. We're going to deal with that all the time, so you've got to deal with it, okay? But we have to coach them. We have to coach these individuals and say, look, I know how you feel. I understand how you feel, but we're playing a game now. You've got a couple of interviews. Your goal in each of those interviews is to impress, It's not to voice your concerns. It's not to voice your uncertainty about what you're doing. Your job is to get the contract. When you have that contract in your hand, that's when we can start raising these things. That's when we can start asking these sort of questions, because it's harder for them to take that offer away. You want to be sitting there with your offers in front of you, now assessing whether you take it or not. An interview is not a job offer, okay? You are not in control in that interview. Your job in that interview is to get an offer. If you go in there half-cocked, if you go in there second-guessing what you're doing, or even if you're going to make a move, you're almost just wasting everyone's time. Don't go on the interview, okay? No, I want to go on the interview. Okay, cool. So play the game. You need to perform at the highest level in that interview, okay? Because our goal, you got to think, don't lose sight of what our goal is. Our goal isn't to take a job in this interview. Our goal is to get an offer. Once you have an offer, you are in control. If you don't have an offer, you are not in control. You have nothing to accept. It's not a job offer. So, hard learning for us today. We're still managing that one through. I'll give you an update on whether we get that one across or not, but very interesting case study. Coach your candidates. You need to tell them how to behave, because it's very normal and it's very, I understand why candidates might want to be honest in the interview. A lot of people are too honest for their own good. It's not about being dishonest by going to that interview and not telling them what you're thinking, like, I might not even move, or I might not even stay in the industry, or I might not even want to join your company. That's not being dishonest. Your goal in an interview is to sell yourself to the person that you're sitting in front of. That is the goal. There's no deception there. You're selling them on what you do, okay? So that's my red hot tip for the day. Coach the shit out of your candidates on how to behave in an interview. Your CV, you got to think about the steps. Your CV is there to get you an interview. The interview is there to get you an offer. The offer is there for you to then decide whether you take it or not. Okay? Very simple steps. Just understand what the goals are for each of those steps. Articulate those goals for each of the steps to your candidate, and make sure that they understand what the goal is for this bit here. Send me a CV. Okay. My goal is to get you interviews. Okay. I've got you interviews. Great. Go on interviews. Cool. Your goal in these interviews is to get the second interview or an offer. Simple as that. Once you have the offer, your goal is now to say yes or no. Simple as that. Okay? That's all I have time for you today. Like, share, subscribe. I see it. I love it. We're growing. 50,000 views a month. Thank you. Keep going. Let's go to 100. Why not? As always, have an amazing day. May all your deals come true.